Hello guys, welcome. Let's talk about the simple interest and the compound interest. Simple interest, here's a point to note, always calculated on the principal, okay? Example 1, Mark saves 30,000 rands in a savings account at a simple interest rate of 5% per annum for 2 years. Per annum means per year. What is his interest after 1 year? So let us find the interest first. We know that he's going to deposit 30,000 rands. So this is the amount which has not been added anything, which doesn't have interest, which doesn't have anything. So it's the 100%. And the interest is 5% per year. So 5%, this should be less. So 5 over 100 times 30,000. 5 times 300, that's 1,500. So the interest is 1,500 rands after 1 year. Part B, how much money does he have after 1 year? So the total amount of money which he has after 1 year is the principal or the deposit plus the interest. The principal or the deposit, he deposited 30,000 rands plus the interest 1,500 rands. So this is going to be 31,500 rands. So after 1 year, he has 31,500 rands in his account. Let's do part C. What is his interest after year 2? Okay, so we have to calculate interest for year 2. So 30,000 rands is equals to 100%. And in year 2, the interest is still 5%. So this will be less. 5 over 100 times 30,000, you get 1,500 rands. So in year 2, remember, we said for simple interest, this interest is always calculated on the principal, the first money that was deposited. It doesn't matter it's year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 10. The interest is always calculated on the money that was deposited. So for year 1, we generated an interest of 1,500. For year 2, we also generated an interest of 1,500. So your interest for those 2 years, okay, is equals to interest for year 1 plus interest for year 2. Interest for year 1, we got 1,500 rands. Interest for year 2, we got also 1,500 rands. So after 2 years, our total interest is 3,000 rands. Okay, take note of that. For each year, year 2 we generated 1,500, year 1 we generated 1,500. How much money does he have after 2 years? So part D, the amount which he has after 2 years is the principal plus the interest. What was the principal? He deposited 30,000 rands. But what is the total interest after the 2 years? It's 3,000 rands. This will make 33,000 rands. So after 2 years, he has 33,000 rands. Let's do one more example on simple interest. Now, in this example, there is a different interest rate for each year. But that doesn't change anything. The interest is always calculated on the principal. Remember that. That's what simple interest is all about. Example 2. June plans to save 5,000 rands in a savings account for 3 years. The bank is offering the following simple interest rates. Year 1, 3%, year 2, 5%, year 3, 7%. How much would June have after 3 years? So let us calculate for year 1. We know that this 5,000 rands is our 100%. So 3% is going to be less. So 3 over 100 multiplied by 5,000 rands. 50 times 3, that's 150. So in year 1, the interest received is 150 rand. Let's see what happened in year 2. This 5,000 rands is the 100%. In year 2, the bank is now offering 5%. Still 5% is less than 100%. So 5 over 100 of 5,000. 50 times 5 get 250. So in year 2, the interest that was generated only in year 2 is 250 rand. Take note, we have not added year 1 and year 2. We are only calculating what happened in year 1, and now we are only calculating what happened in year 2. So let's find out what happened in year 3. This 5,000 rands is the 100%, and in year 3 they are offering a 7%. So 7% will be less than 100% in comparison. So 7 over 100 multiplied by 5,000. 7 times 50. This is 350 rands. So in year 3, the interest that was generated only in year 3 is 350 rands. So the question, how much would June have after 3 years? We say amount is equals to principal plus interest. So amount equals to the principal. June deposited 5,000 rands plus the interest, or the total of the interest, that's 150 plus 250 plus 350 rands. You are left with 5,000 plus the total of 750. This will be 5,750 rands. So June will have 5,750 rands in her account after 3 years. Let us conclude with compound interest. Now in compound interest, when you calculate your total amount for year 1, that amount will be your principal for year 2. And the total amount for year 2 will be your principal for year 3. Example 1. Mark saves 30,000 rands in a savings account at a compound interest rate of 5%. Take note, compound, 5% per annum for 2 years. What is his interest after 1 year? So let us calculate the interest. Remember, the interest is just a small percentage of the amount that you are given. So this 30,000 rands is our 100%. So 5% is equals to less. So we say 5 over 100 times 30,000 5 times 300 get 1,500 rands. His interest is 1,500 rands. Part B. How much money does he have after 1 year? So after 1 year, we say amount is equals to principal plus interest. Principal, Mark deposited 30,000 rands, plus interest 1,500. So the amount he has is 31,500. This is the amount he has after 1 year. Part C. What is his interest for year 2? Remember, we calculate year by year. So let us calculate the interest for year 2. Now, the total amount which you had for year 1, 31,500 rands, is what you use as 100% as your principal for year 2. That's what compounding is all about. So let's calculate the 5% for year 2. This is still going to be less. 5 over 100 of 31,500. This will be 1,575 rands. So part C, what is his interest for year 2? So for year 2, his interest is 1,575. Take note, this is interest calculated for year 2 only. It's not the total interest for 2 years. So D, how much money does he have after 2 years? So amount is equals to principal plus the interest. So what is the principal? He put 30,000 rands plus the interest. There were 2 interests, 1,500 plus 1,575. So this is a 30,000 plus a 3075. This will be a 33,075. So after 2 years, he has a total of 33,075 rands. Okay, let's finish up with this. June deposits 5,000 rands in a savings account. For the 3 years he wants to save, the bank offers compound interest as follows. Year 1, 3%, year 2, 5%, year 3, 7%. So let us calculate what happens in year 1. We want to see the interest that he has in year 1. 5,000 rands is the 100%. So there's a 3% interest, which is going to be less in comparison. So the 3% interest times 50, you get 150 rands. So in year 1, the interest got was 150 rands. So you need to calculate the total amount he has for year 1, because that's what you use for year 2 when you are doing compounding. So the total amount equals to principal plus interest. This is equals to 5,000 plus 150. So the total amount is 5,150. You need to calculate it even if they don't ask you that. So for year 2, this amount will be your principal when you are doing compounding. 5,150 will be your 100%. In year 2, they are offering a 5%. Now you are calculating 5% of this. So 5 over 100 of 5,150, you get 257 rands and 50 cents. So this is the interest for year 2. You need to calculate the total amount for year 2. This is equals to the principal. The principal was 5,150 plus the 257.50. So the total amount he has for year 2 is 5,000 rands, 5,407.50. So this is the total amount he has for 2 years, but we want the total for 3 years. So we go to year 3. Whatever was your total for year 2, when you are compounding, that will be your principal for the next year. So 5,407.50 is your 100%. Year 3, they are offering a 7%. So 7% of this is still going to be less. This will be 7 over 100 of 5,407.50. 378.53 rands. Now the total amount is equal to principal plus the interest. This is equals to 5,407.50 plus 378.53. So this will be 5786.03. So using compounding interest, June has 5,786.03 rands after 3 years.